3 Palestinian gunmen were killed during what were described as intense clashes with Israeli troops in the northern West Bank city of Jenin. That was in the pre-dawn hours today. The IDF said special forces came under fire when they entered the city to arrest 3 wanted terror suspects. Now, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad did claim that they engaged the Israeli troops with gunfire and explosives. No Israeli soldiers were injured. It's a remarkable aspect when you're walking into the jihadi heartland of Jenin and they're expecting you. But elsewhere in the West Bank, the IDF said they apprehended 12 more wanted Palestinians. Still a robust operation counter-terror taking place across that territory. Now we go to the studio here, joined by Doron Avital, a former IDF commando officer and a former member of parliament. So thanks for being with us, Doron, frequently on these issues here. I mean, Jenin at this point, I think, is clearly a nest of terror activity. Does it seem feasible that these surgical operations that the IDF is conducting every night are truly impacting the situation? Is there a need for a wider operation? Or on the flip side of that, does a bigger IDF footprint in the West Bank backfire in some ways?
Yes.
Is this the course to stay on?
I think you put it exactly. This is the trade-off. I mean, what we are trying right now to do, those preventive arrests, following some concrete intelligence, trying to prevent any attacks coming out of Jenin, but trying not to extend the conflict to a wider range, like closing on Jenin. For sure, in the context of a new government and even the Mondial Games, nobody wants to go into a major operation, so everybody waits. So I think in the next month or two is critical, and then afterwards we'll have to see the new government, the new policy, whether this kind of routine would continue. It's an exhausting routine, maybe necessary, but of course you extend the number of Palestinians killed. This has its effect on a wider range, a problem.
Well, certainly, I think for now we're set to see this continue as it has been. The threats are there. There's, I believe, an underrated aspect of what we're watching here a bit night after night, and this has been going on for many years. But to speak of the Israel Defense Force, the tactics that they're using right now, I mean, getting in and out of these areas, such complex arenas, a relatively low casualty rate. I mean, you're seeing very few soldiers actually, getting wounded here, and equally a very low, relatively low civilian, collateral damage impact as well in these highly densely populated. I mean, these areas are traps. Jenin is like a trap for the IDF to walk into. Are the tactics as sharp as they've ever been, in terms of what the IDF is doing?
I think in terms of the special forces' way of conduct, I think they prove themselves very surgical, very relatively clean. Yeah. Of course, when they are engaged with fire, they have to return fire and they have to shoot who shoots at them. So in this respect, they are very careful. We don't want to go into those problems the way we had with this journalist of Al Jazeera, which is it's a sort of a scandal, and it's a problem for sure. So I think lately we see very surgical, very intelligence-driven, very clean. Everything is well crafted.
Does it speak to the depth that the intelligence is infiltrating?
Intelligence and depth of professionalism of the special forces taking those actions.
Just remarkable, and I still think an underrated aspect of the success of the IDF.
Yes.
It's something we could go on and on about.
Because you see the pictures and you see the shootings. They are shot from everywhere. They have to do it really.
It's a hornet's nest. It's a total trap. Yeah. I mean, like I said, they know they're coming. Night after night, these guys know their targets.
No question. They're waiting for them.
It's a trap. Remarkable. Look, on the looming political side of things here, I mean, this is in the backdrop, the forefront, however you want to describe it. Around this whole security front, the politics are looming large. How might things change in the coming months to what we're seeing? I know there's a lot of talk right now about, taking a tougher stance, for example. What do you expect to see in these next months?
This is difficult. I mean, the toughest stance, with this respect, right now, it's with words. But you have to see that in a month or two, the echelon of power would change, because it would be a new chief of staff and a new national security minister with wider authorities in terms of what he was given. I hope it works, because if there will be some conflicts between the forces on the ground, the political echelon, this can really extend to a very problematic situation. I think it's a big challenge. I think Bibi is worried. I'm not sure. I think he would have preferred he would have preferred a more moderate ministers, but that's what he has in his inventory. So let's see. It's a tough challenge.
Well, along those lines, we take the conversation there next. But Doron Avital, thanks for being with us.